Alright, game number 1 is against blue-yellow Nami. So, this is a aggro v aggro matchup because we are definitely a aggro deck, especially in this matchup. So here they're swinging 8. Our main goal is we're going to try to use the Magellans and try to get to our Kaidos as fast as possible. The Magellans are in here to help with things like blue-purple Luffy, and for other decks that have like key spots. So in this case, we know that the 7 Mom is kind of a staple in a lot of the blue-yellow decks, so Magellan can turn that off if they're going first. So here, we're just going to play out our stage after swinging 6, that way then we can just start ramping. We do have other really good cards into this matchup too. Things like the 7-cost Sanji can help a lot with their early game aggression, being able to tap down their characters and then swing in. They do putting us right there, which kind of sucks, but we still find a Magellan, and we still have a Kaido. But now we just top decked our better Kaido, the black 9-cost Kaido. That is one of our main win cons, being able to trash a card from our hand after using leader effect to get rid of like a 9-cost that like blue-purple Luffy would have, to be able to freely KO one of their characters is huge. So here, they're down to 3 life, we're down to 3. We did play the Magellan, that way then they couldn't just do like a 7 Mom if they did have it in hand, since they have a lot of cards. They do just play the Cloud. I'm drawing a blank on its name right now. The Zeus, there you go. And they do get rid of our Magellan, but that's a KO effect, so they have to lose 2 Dawn for it. And then they do play the 2-cost Nami to give their leader Banish, so we just take that one. Here, we're already at 9 Dawn, so we have 2 decent plays here. We could just Sanji and then save our Kaidos for later for their bigger cards, or we could just play a Kaido right now and be able to swing in for a lot of damage. So here I just play out the Sanji though, because I would rather be able to try to clear something on their board, so I swing 2 into 2. They do use leader effect there just to make themselves 7k, so now we're just going to swing 7 with our lead, and then we're going to swing 7 with the Sanji, just getting cards out of their hand right now. Yeah, their leader effect will allow them to draw 1 every turn, but that's completely fine with me at this point. This is more of like, we need to rush them down as fast as possible. Otherwise, their value and their cards are just a lot better than ours overall. They have like stronger effects as far as like going towards their game plan. That is one of the downsides of this King deck, is like you are trying to rush up to 9 Dawn as fast as possible, so that way then you can utilize your Kaidos, which is like your main win conditions, or even your Kaido and Linlin, the 10 cost. Here we're just going 5 into 3, get rid of that Nami, and then we're going to play out this Queen. We do draw into a Magellan, so we're going to discard the Searcher, so that way then we can play out the Magellan this turn. And then I'm thinking I'm just going to use leader effect right now to draw a free card, because we were at 10 Dawn, so it makes sense. There we do get the 10 cost Kaido and Linlin. That is kind of like one of our go-to win conditions as well. You can combo it up with your Sabo, and your board won't get cleared, but your opponents will, and you'll still gain a life, and they'll still have to trash a life. So it's huge. It's definitely what you want to rush up to. Here they play out the Jozu to bounce our Magellan, which we are completely fine with, and then they're going 6 into 5. I do give up the Black Maria because I don't really see needing Black Maria right now in this matchup. Our hand has a bunch of bricks, but there's nothing that we can really do about that. We don't want to go down to 2 Dawn right now. So here we're just going to swing 5, and then we're going to play out this Kaido, trash a Magellan to get rid of their Jozu, and then they still have to get rid of a card. So we were able to get rid of 2 cards out of their hand and get rid of their Jozu. So they give another 10 cost Kaido. And then we do use our leader effect, just drawing another card. That's primarily what you're going to be using your leader effect for King on, is just drawing a card. Every now and again you will combo it with your 9 cost Kaido, the one that we have on the field, the black one, because it does allow you to get rid of those 9 costs at that point, which is huge. So they're here, they play the VV, they get to draw 2. If you haven't seen my recent video for Zoro and Sanji, I did post a video where you're able to kind of abuse the VV from EBO2, allowing you to be able to play it multiple times in a turn, so you just constantly refill your hand. So here, they're going 5 at us with the pudding. So I'm just gonna give them the queen that they bounce back to hand, and then they go 6. So I will take that one. Here we're at 10 Dawn, and I'm just thinking, like, I could go double 5 costs. So I do start with a 5 to 4. They let that go. But I do decide to just play out the 10 cost at this point. And then I realized that I had 6 cards in hand, so leader effect would have done nothing there. And then I'm keeping my Kaido back because I don't want them to just swing into it for like a large amount and get rid of it. We do have a 0 cost event in our hand, so we can turn one of these bricks into effectively like a 2K. So hopefully we can survive this. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going, okay, so they're at 10 Dawn. They don't really have, they only have technically 2 attackers because they got 2 0 attackers. And then they play out this 8 cost Luffy. So it has rush, so they're swinging 8. I'm thinking, do I want to take this? So I do decide to take it. They do get to draw a card from leader, and then they're going to swing 7. So here I'm just going to counter out of that one. I'm going to play out the Black Maria right now, and then play out the Sabo next. That way then the Black Maria is also protected from KO. And then I should have swung with leader first as a 7K, just get an extra card out of their hand. But it doesn't really matter, the game's pretty much over at this point. So here we go 12, we got to trash a life. They do counter out of that, and then we just swing 9. So here they either give up their last life or give up 2 cards out of their hand at minimum. So they do get a Kikanojo, but I'm not too worried about that. And then we use the Black Maria plus stage to be able to go back up to 6 Dawn. So here they do have the Raging Tiger, so they get rid of our Black Maria and our Sabo. I'm fine with that, so I can just counter out of that swing. Then they go 7. I'm going to take that. They do get to draw a card, so they're up to 4, but that's game. Alright, game number 2 is against another OP11 new leader, and that is Jinbe. Personally, I'm looking forward to Jinbe probably the most out of these new leaders. Him and Kobe are kind of like the two that I really like. I do really like Blue Yellow Nami, but Jinbe with the Fisherman Pirates, I've always liked the Fisherman Pirates as a whole. If you haven't seen, I have a recent video on one of my favorite leaders of all time, Hody Jones. I think that he's a incredible aggro deck that is slept on by a lot of people. He's really good, especially against these purple Luffy decks. But we'll go back to focusing on this game now. So here, it is their turn. They got 5 Dawn. We do have the stage out, which is huge, so that way then we can just keep ramping Dawn. So I was just reading that new Jinbe. It is a promo. And then they swing 10 at us, so we just take it. I don't like being down to just 2 life already, and we haven't really taken a life from them, but nothing that we can really do about that. So here I'm just thinking like I could play out Queen, which is what I'm thinking that I'm probably going to do. It's either Queen or Magellan. So here I'm going to swing 7, see what they do. They'll most likely take this one, but he actually counters out. So I go, okay, well, if you're just going to counter out, I'm just going to play this Queen, minus Dawn, draw 2, trash 1. I'm thinking I'll just trash the Magellan. Then I'll use stage, gain that Dawn back. So that way then we're still at 7. So now their turn, they're at 7 Dawn as well. We will be going up to 9 Dawn next turn, so our Kaidos will be online. And then they play the new Jinbe, which allows them to rest a character and then they can swing into it. So they do rest our blocker and swing into it, so we're just going to give that up. And then they're going to swing 6, and we are going to counter out of this with a 2K. Alright, so our turn, we're definitely going to play one of our Kaidos. I'm just thinking, which one do I want to play? So here, we're going to start off with a swing of 5, just to see if they have any shenanigans. So they do take it finally, and then we're just going to play out the black 9-cost one. We will trash one of the Sanjis, since we have 3, to get rid of their Jinbe and make them trash a card. And then here, we're just going to pass. No point in using leader effect, no point in using stage either. We're at 9 Dawn still, so. And we have 7 cards in hand. Here, they play the Fisher Tiger, tapping down our Jinbe. And then they play the Vanderdecken, so that way then they can pop it. So that's a really cool combo. I did something similar to that before as well. That 2-cost is really strong, especially for the Fishman. Here, we're at 10 Dawn. I'm just thinking, do I want to play out another of the 9-cost, or do I want to play out the Sanji? So here, I'm just going to swing 6, and then play out another of the Black Kaido, trash one of the 0-costs. So I'm still just whittling away at their hand and whittling away at their life, and then I can finally use leader effect because I was at 5 cards to be able to draw a card, then use stage. That way then I'm still going to be at 10 Dawn next turn. So here they swing 5 with Vander, and I'm just going to 1k out with one of these Sanjis. And then they're going to swing 5 again, so I'm just going to 1k out as well. So I just give up another Sanji. I debated about giving up the Sabo, but that's my only blocker. They do play out the Hody, and then they're going to swing 8. I could give up 3 cards in hand, but I decided to just take, and then we get another of the Kaido, which is huge because that means that we can get rid of this Hody now. So here I'm going to swing 2 into 2, see if they're going to give me a card for it. They don't. So now I'm gonna go 6 at lead, see if I can take another life from them. They do counter out of that. And then I'm gonna swing another 9 at lead, which does get a card, or get a life. And then we're gonna play out the Kaido, and we would be able to win. Alright, so game number 3 is against Vegapunk. During EBO2, this was a crazy deck. I think at one point in time, it was at like a 54% win rate, even with green purple Luffy being so fucking problematic. But nonetheless, we should be able to win here. So this is going to be a harder matchup for us because they just swarm the board so fast. So here we do at least have stage. I don't want to swing at them at all, and I just want to get the cards out of their hand. So I just play the stage, use it, and then don't even swing this turn. So here, they're still just putting cards into their life. So we're at 7 Dawn. So here, I'm just going to play out the Sanji minus a Dawn real quick, tap down their Vegapunk, and then swing 2 into it. And then I'm going to use stage again. And then I'm just gonna pass. Since they have the Shaka up on their life, I just want to try to get to 9 Dawn because both my Kaidos can get rid of it. And then they do put another card in their life, and then they play out the Nami just to play out a body. We do draw into another 9-cost Kaido. So here I'm just reading their Usopp that they put in life. So I'm going to start off actually swinging at lead. They decide not to use its effect, and then I'm going to swing at lead again for 7 using the Sanji. They do use the effect. So here we're just going to play out this Kaido. We're going to use its effect. We're going to trash the Magellan to get rid of their blocker and make them trash a card out of hand. And then we will use leader effect to draw a card, and then use stage to gain back a Dawn. That way then we go up to 10 still on our next turn. So here they put another card in life, and then they just pass turn. So we're at 10 Dawn. So we're gonna start off with a swing of 5. They take and they use its effect to be able to play it out. Then we swing 7. They take that. They use its effect to draw 2. Swing 9 into 5. They take that. They're debating about using the trigger. They decide to use it. It is a Frankie. And then here, I'm just going to play out the 10 cost and then use leader effect, which was a mistake here. I thought I had 5 cards in hand, but I had 6, so it doesn't really matter because we're still gonna go up to 10 Dawn next turn. Just a little miscount of the cards in hand. So here they go 5 at face. Thinking, do I want to counter out of this? I decide, yeah, I'll 1k out with one of the queens. They do another 5. I'll take that one. Then they go 6. I am going to 2k out of that one. And then they play out the 8-cost kid just to trash another life, so that way then they can start using its effect. And they're also going to put a card in life using leader effect, which is that 1-cost Usopp again. So sadly, we don't have any We don't have any of our Sabos to combo with the Kaido. So we're just going to start off by just using our Dawn for swings. So we'll do a 5k. They do use the Usopp effect, making themselves a 7k leader. So then I'm going to swing 7. Then I'm going to swing another 7 with lead this time. They do give us counter for that as well. Swing another 7. They take that. So then we're going to go 9, and this should be game.